Welcome to the Recommended Daily Value Podcast, your daily dose into the health and wellness world.
Welcome back to the Recommended Daily Value Podcast, where we dive into everything health, fitness, and nutrition related 5 days a week in 5 minutes or less. This podcast is brought to you by Umzu, and I'm your host, Tyler Woodward. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button, because today we are talking about the Marilyn Monroe diet. Now, I don't think you all need any introduction to Marilyn Monroe. She was a beauty icon of the early 20th century and is probably still to this day one of the best known names out there. And before I go into this, you've got to remember that making dietary choices back in Monroe's time was probably a lot simpler. There was no organic, gluten-free, synthetic sweeteners, low-fat options. You just went to the grocery store and bought food. A lot less choices. So while Monroe's diet likely changed day to day, it looks like it was pretty consistent overall. So without further ado, let's dive in. A day in the life of Marilyn Monroe. So Monroe's breakfast seems to have been up a bit for debate. In one interview, she was quoted as having saying her breakfast consisted of a glass of warm milk with 2 raw eggs mixed in, which may have been a part of her dieting cleanse routine. Other sources say she consumed a more balanced breakfast, including orange juice, stewed prunes, cereal, and toast with butter and milk. Then she'd have a morning snack. It's been said that Monroe had a mid-morning snack of another cup of milk with some crackers. Then for lunch, which seems to be Monroe's most diverse meal of the day, her lunch consisted of, usually, either eggs and cottage cheese, a baked or mashed potato, spaghetti with tomato or butter, noodles with milk, stale toast or bread with butter, jello, or cooked fruit. Then again, she'd have another snack, a nice little afternoon snack around 3 p.m. Monroe would snack again on another cup of milk and crackers. For dinner, Monroe usually had a meat, starch, and a root or vegetable. The meat consisted of a lean beef from chicken, lamb, sweetbread, which is cow intestines, fish or liver from beef, chicken, or lamb. Emphasize how important liver is. She had almost twice a week, if not more. She had a starch from potato or a slice of butter with bread, and some sort of fruit, vegetable, or root, being tomatoes, beets, carrots, spinach, string beans, or peas, which were pureed or strained. She's quoted as having stated, quote unquote, "I usually eat 4 to 5 carrots with my meat, and that is all. I must be part rabbit. I never get bored with carrots." And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know I'm a huge advocate for carrots. I think this definitely helped keep Monroe's digestion in check. Probably helped her not be bloated as well. Coincidentally, I also advocate for eating the carrot prior to your biggest meal to help ease digestion. And we can't forget, what celebrity does not eat dessert? Monroe's dessert normally consisted of junket, custard, tapioca pudding, rice pudding, or a baked apple. And then last but certainly not least, she would have a nighttime snack. As a late night snack around 11 p.m., Monroe would often end her night with a glass of good old eggnog. Now, you might be wondering why I decided to make a whole episode about Marilyn Monroe's diet, being that it's not really anything special, at least compared to many of the controversial diets today, like carnivore, keto, etc. And I think that's the whole point. Her diet was relatively normal for the time, but it illustrates how far our modern diets have been led astray. Monroe's diet, albeit simple, covers all of her nutrient bases and really avoids any harmful foods. She's quoted as having eaten liver and sweetbreads as well a few times per week, which are both nutrient powerhouses, and on top of that, eating a lot of fruit, juice, dairy, and regular muscle meats. There's no mention of huge salads to fill her up or fasting or anything like that. And this is what I think a prototypical diet would have looked like back in the day, filled with whole foods and not processed junk. And for my ladies out there, from the sound of it, she ate a lot. Like, she ate 4 snacks and 3 meals a day. And I don't think anyone ever accused Marilyn Monroe of being overweight. I think a lot of women today tend to undereat in angst of gaining weight. But it's so important to eat and eat the right foods for both your physical looks and your physical and mental health. I always like to point out Kenny Bloomfield, who I swear eats more than me in a day and probably weighs like 50 pounds less, but looks absolutely awesome. In conclusion, while Marilyn Monroe's name certainly grabs attention, the point is less so to eat like Marilyn, rather more so to eat like grandparents, eat whole foods, eat a solid diet. Well, that's it for this episode. So remember to eat like Marilyn or eat like your grandparents. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and to share it with a friend. And remember, these opinions are my own, based on my own research and experiences, and it's not medical advice. Till next time, be good.